Alright, hello everyone. Just going to go ahead and make sure everything's good audio-wise. Alright. Hey Flash Lantern, welcome to Formula GT. Hope you're having a great day so far. Just doing some audio checks real quick, make sure I'm coming through okay. Yep, I heard myself. We are good to go. Hello everybody and welcome to round 4 of the Formula GT's 8th season. We're here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. One of my personal favorite tracks. It's a very high-speed track, I will definitely say that much. High-speed track, one of the shortest tracks we'll have on the calendar. But we went from actually having one of the longest tracks to one of the shortest tracks on this calendar. I think the only track shorter than this on the calendar is Laguna Seca that we had during preseason. But regardless, we are here now. And it's going to take a little while before some of the drivers get into the lobby. Some of them are practicing in their own session. And others are just probably dealing with some tech problems or just make sure they have the correct livery applied. So in a few minutes we'll have our drivers. We are scheduled to at least have 7 of our drivers here today. Very excited. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually talk about the current standings real quick before we go to the rest of the track layout. So right now our top 3 drivers are Viper from Deadshot, Gomez from Scuderia Racing Force, and then we have Whiteout from Exo High Caliber Racing. And I mean, it was an absolutely stunning race yesterday, a real tour de force from Whiteout, or yeah, Whiteout. Absolutely ran away with our race. So, but here's an interesting statistic that will be fun to note. As it stands right now, with the last 3 rounds at Brands Hatch, Barcelona, and Belgium, or Spa-Francorchamps, Viper has had the fastest lap for every single Grand Prix we've had so far. Really awesome stuff here. So I'm really excited to see how things are going to go today. These lap times are going to be quick, because the average lap around this track takes about a minute in a Formula 1 car. Now granted, these Super Formula cars here that we use for Formula GT aren't quite as fast, so it's probably going to take them closer to about a minute 15, a minute and a half. But it will still be some very close racing. I mean, there are so many elevation changes here that it will catch drivers off guard if they go too fast into a certain corner. I mean, the Red Bull Ring is one of my favorite tracks known to mankind, and it is so awesome to actually race here. Some of my favorite races I've had on and offline have been on this track. So, definitely can't wait to see how this race is going to play out. So, while Viper is loading into the lobby, our current championship leader, we're going to go ahead and just talk about the Red Bull Ring in its entirety, just to give you guys a bit of the background on the track. This track is about 4.3 kilometers or 2.6 miles around. One of the shortest tracks on the Formula 1 calendar and the second shortest on our calendar. This track has been around since 1967 or 1969, known as the, and I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation, but the Austria. Yeah, it's weird. I can't really pronounce it too great. But its current layout started around 1996 when it was called the A1 Ring. This track has been unstable on the Formula 1 calendar for quite some time now. MotoGP uses another version of this track with an extra chicane right around turn 1, or going into turn 2. This track is only 10 corners, so not a whole lot, but it still is enough to provide some excellent racing here. So, now that I've yapped about the track for a bit, we're going to go ahead and spectate one of our drivers here, the current championship leader and the only car in the server, Viper. Now, Viper is a very fast driver. He has been rapid, I think so far. He is the only driver who has not been off of the podium at all during this season. So Viper is a very strong driver indeed. We'll take a look at the race statistics. Yeah, actually no, sorry. Gomez and Viper are the only drivers who have not been off of the podium through any race. Whiteout would be included here as well, but he missed round 2 at Spain, so we really cannot count that. So, now, with Viper having a second place, a first place, and a second place, Gomez, second place, only 11 points behind. He's got third place in every single race we've had so far. So, these top 3, and even the 2 races that Whiteout was part of, he won both of those races. He won in the UK, and he won in Belgium. So, I mean, just the consistency from these top 3 drivers is nothing to scoff at. Nothing at all. I mean, the Red Bull Ring, I mean, it looks simple. And I mean, compared to some other tracks you have on the calendar, like Spa and Interlagos in Brazil, they are pretty simple. But, this track can still catch you off guard. You see all that red and white on that outskirts of the track? Those are track limits. Those are going to hand out so many penalties, I can assure you. This is like that one Gran Turismo movie. Yeah, that's funny because we were on Gran Turismo. Astute observation there, my good sir. But yeah, I mean, this track is just fun to drive on. I'm enjoying it. I know we're going to see some very tight racing. Now, some of the best overtaking opportunities are definitely going to be going into turn 1, which is, if you look at the track map on the top right of your screen, that's going to be right at the bottom left corner. That is going to be probably one of the best overtaking spots, as well as a variety of the straightaways that we have here. Now, that sector that Viper just went through is notoriously kind of bumpy, and these cars are very easily unsettled, especially after the last graphics update, or the handling model update. I think there was a slight graphics update, but I'm on PS4 and not PS5, so I would not know. But yeah, you can, if you're not careful, what Viper just did could easily land someone a track limit penalty. A fun fact, in the Austrian Grand Prix for Formula 1 in 2023, they used the exact same track layout as we're using here today. There were, in the race alone, 100 plus track limit warnings or penalties handed out. So yeah, because it's a very high speed track. It's probably one of the highest speed tracks we have on this calendar. Aside from maybe Spain, but this track is not as much of a tire muncher as Spain is. So if you're new here, I'll go ahead and just explain the layout. We were in practice from about 12:30, or yeah, well 12:30 all the way to 1300, or 1 o'clock Eastern, and then we give them a little bit of a break, and then we jump straight into qualifying. 10-minute qualifying session. The fastest lap will start from the front of the grid. It's not like Formula 1 where they're staged qualifying, where it's like the bottom portion gets knocked out in qualifying 1, another section gets knocked out in qualifying 2, and so on. We don't do that. We just have a singular session for qualifying, and that is it. And then we give the drivers about a 5-minute break to let them stretch, get some water, get hydrated, because hydration is very important. And then we just go ahead and let it race. And this time we got 32 laps. We have Krunder, C-Chan, and Arturo joining the lobby. Now C-Chan missed last round, unfortunately, the FFR driver. And Krunder's actually made his main season debut for Season 8 in the last race. He was a very strong force in the preseason, but he made his actual in-season appearance for the first time this season, last time out in Spa. We're going to go ahead and check on another driver, C-Chan. He unfortunately missed around in Spa, but now he's back here in Austria. The Canadian driver, hoping to go ahead and have a really good, solid turn in performance. And I mean, Krunders is Krunders is talented as well, but C-Chan is a very talented driver. C-Chan has had some pretty decent performances, a 6th and a 5th place in the 2 races he did start in. So, pretty consistent. But in Krunders, in his debut race in the season with IHR, he finished in 5th place. So, I mean, 5th is not too bad. This is not the same Viper. This is a different Viper. It's pretty funny because I knew a Viper in Karma, I knew a Viper here, and I know a Viper with my original friend group that I played with, Speed Shock Racing. If they were still around today, I would definitely push for them to join Formula GT, but unfortunately that is not the case. Right now, Viper has the fastest lap time of a 1:11. I told you these cars were going to be rapid around this track. Definitely one of the quickest laps we're going to have all season, if not the quickest laps we have over the season. So we're just going to go ahead and just kind of check out some of these cars. IHR is a legacy team here in Formula GT. A bit of a lag spike with poor Crunders here, but he is a very rapid driver. I mean, IHR has had some pretty solid standings here in the last few races. I mean, they dominated, or they were a very dominant force during the preseason. So let's go ahead and actually look at the team standings as well. So right now, your top 3 teams are Deadeye Racing, XO High Caliber Racing, and Scuderia Racing Force, with Deadeye having 112 points, XO having 103 points, and then Scuderia Racing Force with 74 points. Now, the impressive thing with Scuderia Racing Force is, as of right now, unless this might change in this race, Scuderia Racing Force's points are all from one driver. It's all from Fernando Gomez. Speedy Gomez, as I like to call him. An absolutely consistent force of speed in this series. He's been 3rd place in every single race of the season. Probably one of the most consistent drivers we've had throughout the entire season. And I'm really excited to see. Now we're getting a lot more drivers in here now. We have Schultze from Project Zero Racing. Project Zero is actually not doing too bad either. They are currently 4th in the team standing. About 57 points away from Deadeye Racing. IHR right now is their main competitor because they're only 4 points away from IHR. So that will definitely be a points position to really think about when we get started here. Arturo from Red Bull Adidas. Arturo hasn't had the most fortunate of seasons, but in the Grand Prestige League, when he was driving Super GT cars in the GT 500 category, he was rapid in that race. Unfortunately, due to PlayStation doing update purgatory, I was unfortunately unable to compensate for that race, but at least Arturo was able to keep his car from spinning off into the gravel. Oh, Gothboy is back as well. We haven't seen Gothboy in a hot second. Because Gothboy, he's a driver for Sohei Racing. I swear every time I say that, I feel like I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but yeah, he's one of the Sohei Racing drivers. Yeah, he missed out last round, but he was around for the first 2 rounds, one of the 2 Sohei drivers, and we have B23. It looks like he's another Sohei Racing driver, but I think he's back in the High Caliber Racing seat for now. Oh, that's going to get a little dicey. Luckily, it's practice, so practice doesn't really affect much of anything. So, if you... Oh, wow, that's got very dicey. A lot of traffic there. Some drivers are reporting winded now, about 7 feet per second, going south, so that's going to definitely mostly affect the straight coming out of turn 1. So on the leftmost side of the mini-map on the top right. Oh, we've got some racing action going on here. It is only practice. Oh, that's a new look for Project Zero, with a Red Bull design now on the airbox for Pixel. Very interesting. Oh, B23 is off into the gravel. Just a little bit of that traffic has just been... Traffic is going to be a major factor, especially when qualifying kicks in later. Ooh. There's actually also been some regulation changes as well. There's actually been a very slight regulation change, which is going to come to the benefit of every single driver here. We have extended the post-race or post-qualifying timer to 180 seconds, up from 30. So drivers on every single track should be able to finish out their lap without getting cut, because there are some drivers, especially last race in Spa, where qualifying laps are hard to come by. A lot of them just didn't get to set a time just because of unfortunate circumstances, so we got to get karma in here sometime. Honestly, the more teams, the better. And maybe for Season 9 or Season 10, we can get some more teams in here. Although I will say, the livery here by Pixel and the Project Zero car, it's interesting that the two Project Zero cars are running different styles of liveries. I mean, they're the same livery, or same team, but just two different styles of it. Very interesting to see. I mean, all the liveries here have been made by very excellent livery designers. Artura, B23, and I think a few others have also made liveries for these teams and drivers, so I mean, very talented. These are very talented individuals in the livery designer and on the track. You love to see it. These are some of the best drivers in the world in the Super Formula category in Gran Turismo. These drivers are amazing. I could not keep up with any of these drivers. That's why I'm on the commentary desk. All jokes aside, I am extremely honored to be able to commentate with Formula GT. Excellent racing. Make sure you're following us on Twitch and check us on YouTube, where this full VOD will be released shortly after the race is concluded. It will include the practice, qualifying, and the race itself. So definitely give that a viewing. And even if you're new here, you can check out the other races. We've had 3 other races for this season so far. And Season 8 is the first season where we've actually started. Oh! I'll get back to that in a sec. There's a good amount of ping-ponging going around between the two Project Zero cars and a high-caliber B23. Yeah, so B23 was also in a high-caliber machine last time around. He started off the season with Sohei, so I wonder if that's an actual driver change that I have not been notified of yet. I know B23 is part of the Exodus Motorsports umbrella. Quite a few drivers from a few different teams on that. I mean, B23 with High Caliber and Sohei. You have Schulte with Project Zero. Artur with Adidas Red Bull. Gothboy with Sohei. I mean, drivers. There's a lot of drivers here that are from that Exodus Motorsports umbrella. So, yeah, but it's just really cool. I mean, we have drivers from so many different nationalities too. We got drivers from the UK, Mexico, Sweden, America, Canada, the Netherlands, Belgium. Just so many drivers from so many different countries and continents. It is Gothboy. If I said Godboy, then that was a issue on, that was a verbal mistake. But it is Gothboy indeed. Well then, that was contact and a spin from Artura. Killswitch has joined the room now. That is likely the other high caliber racing driver. Or it might be the other, it might be another Project Zero driver, because we saw this in Belgium too, where Pixel would show up for practice and do the practice session, but not actually be involved in the actual race itself. Because Pixel is a reserve driver for Project Zero. Drivers will get in closer to like the ending of it. Oh, we actually have about 10 minutes until we start falling. I'll go ahead and let the drivers know that now. I'll have to do it via the PlayStation. Just letting these drivers know that they got about 10 minutes to qualifying. Alright, just making sure on Formula GT I don't have anything that I'm missing. Okay, we have an issue with somebody not being able to see the lobby, which is odd. I'll have to try to figure that out. Definitely got to keep an eye on that. There is one driver. I think this is the a new IHR driver coming in for today's race. So I'll have to. Hopefully he'll be able to join the lobby. The maximum I can probably wait is around maybe 10 minutes before qualifying, potentially. Or 10 minutes. I can wait 10 minutes after the practice session, quote, ends. But we have a pretty good selection here. We have 12 drivers on track. Oh, we have a half-second penalty there for flaring aces, but which the lucky thing is that penalties here in practice do not really affect any other session. They only affect practice. So the real places you don't want to get penalties are qualifying in the race itself. Now, how penalties work in this game, you'll see as it shows up on Flaring Ace's screen that you'll be forced to decelerate at the next penalty line. So your car will actually lose speed for a bit for the half second, and then it'll be back going. Which, granted, half second isn't very long, but you lose a lot of speed. And if there's a car behind you that's gaining more speed, it's going to be a lot easier for them to make the overtake. So right now, Viper still has the fastest time of the session. Oh, spin there from Kill Switch. He collects his teammate, Schulte. Actually, Schulte just keeps on driving, and Kill Switch, the American driver, is the only one affected by that spin. I mean, you at least want to get those mistakes out when you're doing practice. That way it does not mess up your qualifying. So we are still having issues with a driver finding the lobby. We'll have to try to see what's up with that. We're going to back out of this really quickly. I mean, it's about 7 minutes till we begin qualifying anyway. Try to troubleshoot and see what's going on with this driver. And also, these scoreboards will be updated by the end of today as well, so there should be a very quick update for the championship standings for both the drivers and the teams. Actually, I don't know if it's on here, but if you're thinking about competing, then you should be able to. I actually am gonna add it as a link. But we have a Discord server where all the standings will be posted before they get posted onto Instagram and other social media. But be sure to actually follow us on Instagram. It's linked in the description here of this Twitch channel. And also be sure to check out our sponsors, IHR Karting Accessories, Velocity Media, and FuelCan.shop. I actually got a fuel can from FuelCan.shop. It's a very high quality water bottle. Solid metal, dishwasher safe, and it keeps its design pretty well. Aside from a few times I've accidentally dropped it, but that's to be expected. But yeah, I mean, it's a great bottle. They come in a wide variety of sizes. Also, on FuelCan.shop, which I still need to order some, we have stickers now. We have stickers, so if you like Formula GT as much as I do, and you want to just put a sticker maybe on your PC, on your laptop, on your controller, your PlayStation, your car, your grandmother's cat, or anything you may think of, be sure to pick up some stickers. They're pretty cheap. You can get a 3-pack for about $14. High quality stickers, I am sure. I'm definitely gonna get those as soon as I humanly can. Alright. So Ricky is still unfortunately unable to try to get into the lobby. Let me see if I can mess with some settings. Try to get him in here. Maybe not. Hang on, you guys are going to see a blue screen for a quick second because I am going to only just for a bit of extra transparency there. So I think Pixel's actually not going to be in the race. He was just practicing for the sake of it. You'll see a black little UI thing. That's just PlayStation having its weird very annoying looking censorship for showing party stuff. Trying to get some solutions for our new driver Ricky. And, I mean, I love seeing new talent come to this. I mean, Deadeye Racing is actually a new team for the season. I don't think they were even a part of preseason to my knowledge, but Deadeye Racing, I mean, it's their first season here, and they're already atop of the team's championship. That is some very stellar progress for the new team here. And I mean, if things keep going the way they're going, they're on track to win both the drivers and the team's championship in their first season, which is absolutely stellar. So we got qualifying in about 3 minutes. We'll go back to spectating, hopefully while Ricky gets his thing settled, and he'll be able to join the lobby. So right now we're going to go on board with some of these drivers. C-Chan going ahead and making some laps out now. I think out of everybody who's currently on track, he has the second fastest time out of everybody currently on track. Although granted, it's not going to matter too much when it comes to practice, because times are really just for bragging rights during practice. Your times don't really mean much. Your qualifying time is going to matter though. That's the big thing. Your qualifying time will matter. And also your fastest lap during the race will get you an extra point. So you might want to aim for fastest lap, because that will give you +1 point. And every point matters in this series. I mean, the driver gap would be in the single digits if Viper did not get fastest lap for every single Grand Prix so far. He would only be 8 points ahead of Gomez, which, I mean, even 11 points isn't too big of a gap. It's a very small gap, considering that you score around like 25 points per race win. So if Viper has a bad race, then it is very possible that Gomez could jump up. And actually, fortunately, I just got word that Ricky was able to find the lobby now. Awesome. So we are going to have a new driver here for this race. I am excited to see it. I'm excited for this race in general, because this race is going to be a fun one, I can promise you. We have some really talented drivers. Our top three, to the surprise of basically no one if you've been watching Formula GT this season: Gomez, Whiteout, and Viper. No matter what, these three have been on our podium with the exception of Whiteout in Spain. These three have just been consistently on our top three. Yeah, so the only other podium driver is Lucian, who got a podium in Spain. All right. And Ricky's here. We have 12 drivers for this race. We have 12 drivers for this race. That is, I think, the most we've seen all season, or close to. All right, qualifying starts in a minute. Actually, I'm just gonna wait for it to hit 1 o'clock here, or 1300, and bingo. All right, qualifying time. Get ready, drivers, because qualifying is gonna happen, and it's gonna be fast and intense. 10 minutes of qualifying, and the fastest driver will get pole position. They'll start from the very front of the grid, and ideally you want to see drivers run on the soft tire compound. The soft tire compound has the most grip out of all the tire compounds. So in Formula GT, you run 2 tire compounds. You have to run 2 tire compounds throughout an entire race. You have to run the medium or the soft tire compound. Hards are not available, and we don't do races in wet weather, so the intermediates and wet tires are just unavailable. I think you can run them, but there's no sense in it, because it's such a disadvantage. But I'm voting for Reckist. As much as I appreciate the vote, I'm not driving. I'm on the commentary desk watching drivers a heck of a lot better than me take to this track. So, here's how things are going to work. You have to do an outlap first. Your outlap just does not count because it's the time you're going out of the pits. And then drivers will go on a fast lap. You'll want to get these tires heated up, because when you get them in the optimal tire temperature window, that's when they have the most grip. the heat expands the rubber to a point where it's just has enough grip on the track to just give you the most amount of traction needed. The soft tires will fire up significantly quicker than, say, a medium or a hard tire compound, but they burn out significantly faster too, because we have tire wear enabled for this session. So you're gonna have to manage your tires, but also for qualifying, you just need that one fastest lap. So that's why the softs are such a strong pick. And we really do appreciate it, Flash. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Same for everybody here. And if you guys are new here, first off, thank you so much for joining us here at Formula GT. We have a lot of fun here. We have a lot of very talented drivers from several different countries and continents. So it is really awesome to see so many talented drivers from so many different parts of the globe here on track. And we race on a lot of the best circuits in the world. We are in Spielberg, Austria right now for this track. And speaking of track, we're about to have Viper. Oh, he gets on the track limits. I wonder if that's going to penalize him, but he's going to go ahead and just take it across the line. He'll set the first lap. It is a 1 minute 11.1. And he's just going to go back to the pits and go back out on another outlap. Viper, that was one driver. I think that was Whiteout with a half-second penalty there. Flaring Aces, his teammate, Viper's teammate, will go ahead and make it, as of right now, a Deadeye Racing front row lockout. And I can't recall seeing that at all at any point during this season. We have some drivers going out right now. Right now, our top three are Flaring, Aces, Gomez, and Viper. Those are our top drivers right now, all who are currently on outlap. Crunders is on his second lap of qualifying. And the rookie, Ricky, goes ahead and moves himself up to 7th with a 1 minute 15. Good stuff there from the American rookie with the IHR racing team. I have not seen Ricky race before. Maybe some of these other drivers have, but right now, I mean, 7th place in your first outing is pretty good. And he's only 700ths off of Gothboy in the Sohei racing machine. I will still always love the fact that that car is, quote, powered by Saab. They have chosen Saab as their engine manufacturer, which, unfortunately, that's not an actual thing you can do in this game. Just to give you guys some more background on the cars we are currently using here in Formula GT. These are the SF23 Super Formula cars that they use in Super Formula, Japan's premier open wheel racing series. 4 cylinders powered by either Honda or Toyota. But with the awesome power of a livery editor, you can technically make these cars powered by whatever engine you choose. Sohei uses a Saab powertrain. The car behind it, being the IHR of Crunders, uses a Honda powertrain, which is probably an actual Honda powered car. Same with the XL high caliber machines. Gomez has a Lamborghini powertrain in the back of his car, while the front row lockout of Deadeye Racing currently has Toyota powertrains. I know I've seen some other ones here. There's another Honda. Z-Chan's team, which is FR Racing, they are the sole Mercedes power team here, I believe. Oh no, I think Project Zero is also Merc powered. Oh, okay, no, they're Honda. I remember in like their earliest iteration of the livery, they were powered by Mercedes. So, can you make it powered by Cake? I don't know how fast Cake goes. Real Arcade Gran Turismo Edition. Oh no. But anyway, we are over halfway done with this qualifying session now. Granted, drivers will have an extra 180 seconds to finish out their lap. And they're currently all once the qualifying timer ends. Same with the race itself. So it is a very highly requested and ideally very welcome change that the drivers have voted upon. So that is in effect from this race to the rest of the season. And honestly, I think it's a good change because it gives drivers who may have had some unfortunate mishaps on their original laps, trying to set actual qualifying laps, then they'll get the shot too. Now, one of the trickiest things about the latter parts of qualifying is running into traffic. Now, there are penalties for impeding, so should someone actually request a steward's check. Oh, and Schulte goes off into the gravel. Oh, that's contact between Schulte and Ricky. Oh no, I wonder if that's how much that's gonna negatively affect Ricky's time. He just straight up ate the back of that Project Zero car. Very unfortunate stuff, but I think he was just a victim of circumstance at that point. But, I mean, Ricky still has a good amount of time. If this was Spa, then Ricky might have been in a worse situation, because Spa is about 7 kilometers in length. So Spa is the longest track we have on the calendar here, and one of the longest in the entire game. This track is on the opposite side of that spectrum, where it is one of the shortest. And I think in terms of regular season tracks, I think this is the shortest track we have. Godboy going a bit wide there on the exit of that corner there, but he keeps it in between the white lines. Very good stuff there from the Belgian driver. In the Sohei racing machine. And he's just gonna let it rip. He's gonna try to improve his position. We'll see if he improves his position or his time. He'll get the new time and his... Actually, no, he did not move up any positions. Viper right now has the fastest time with a 1:10. 3/10 ahead of Gomez. Gomez actually disrupting the front row lockout. He's 3/10 slower than Viper, but 3/10 faster than Aces. So it was almost an all British and all Project Zero of Deadeye Racing front row. That was almost a front row lockout for the team, but it still could be. Flaring Aces is on the outlap. He'll have probably the shot to do 1 or 2 more laps, but then that's going to be it. He's going to just be out of it. The number 89 car about to start his next lap, which is probably one of his last 2 laps that he's going to have here. He's going to go ahead and get started. And the lap begins. We'll actually go into first person for this view. He's gonna just, and he's going to the first. This is probably also one of the better spots for overtaking, pushing that Toyota 4-cylinder to its absolute limits and beyond. It's crazy that these things have 625 horsepower still out of a 4-cylinder, which is insane, because most 4-cylinders make like 100 or 200 horsepower at max. These make 625 horsepower. Around the same ballpark as Formula 2, which runs a V6. So very good stuff there. Currently not improving his time at the moment for Flaring Aces, but he'll get another lap. Arturo will improve his time. Actually, no, I stand corrected. He is improving his time. He is 3/10 faster. Although not quite enough. He was still 11 hundredths off of Gomez's time. So, oh, he's going to get a little bit of that grass and a little bit of a loss of traction. That might have cost him his time right there, but we'll see. Coming across the line. No! 3/10 off. I think that little slip up in the gravel is what kind of messed up that run. Qualifying is done. I believe everybody should be on their final laps now. The 10 minutes have passed. We're going to take a very quick intermission once the qualifying officially wraps up. Yep, okay, yep, it is official. Some drivers are now listed on their final laps. So right now your provisional pole position is Viper, and then followed by Gomez and Flaring Aces. Those are the top 3 drivers we have so far. Krunders and Schulte will have a half-second penalty, so they're not going to improve their time. Oh, yep, and he's just going to take the wide route now. And now he gets upgrade to a 1.5-second penalty. I don't think that will affect his overall time. Arturo actually improves his time and his position, moving up to 8th place. So I think who do we have still on the lap? Ricky is on his final lap now. I think he's the last driver we're currently waiting on. And Ricky's going to go ahead, cross the line. He does not improve his time or his position. Starts from 11th place on the grid on the back row. C-Chan will also not improve his time or his position. And yeah, I think we have everybody done now. So we'll go ahead and get screenshots for proof of the times when they appear. We'll just see if there's anything else going on. I think once it hits the 12-minute mark, I think that's when we're going to be officially done with the lap. Officially done with qualifying. Alright. Yep, so I think that's pretty much it from everyone. I think the only drivers who are official or technically on final laps are drivers still in the pits. Also, unfortunately, Killswitch was just not able to set a good time. Oh, that should have been it. Just waiting for this to finish up its thing. And so it looks like our top three are Viper, Gomez, and Flare Gates with Whiteout starting off in 4th. I think this is the lowest qualifying we've seen from Whiteout all year, not counting Spain. A race he wasn't at. But of all the races he's been at, I think Whiteout has the slowest, or this is his lowest starting position. Which, if you consider 4th your lowest starting position, that's actually still really solid. That's still 2nd row. So we've seen drivers go from the 2nd row to the win. We have seen it before. I am unsure of why some of these drivers are still on track and why we haven't officially... Oh, there it goes. I said something. Alright. 5 minutes and then we'll be back. So we're going to go ahead and collect these screenshots. Oop, nope, that's not it. You're going to see a mix of blue and black screens here just because of PlayStation screenshots. Just going to wait for that to disappear. And oh well, it's just going to get a little bit of UI stuff on there, but that's alright. So, right now we have Viper, Gomez, Flaring. Oh, I actually hit the PlayStation button. Whiteout, C-Chan, B23, Crunders, Artura, Gothboy, Schultzy, Ricky, and Killswitch round out our positions here. Alright, we'll be back at 13:18. It will cycle between these two screens for a bit. And then we'll be racing here in Austria with 32 laps and a lot of intensity. We'll be back in a bit, folks. Make sure you hydrate and grab your snacks because this is going to be a good one. All right, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get going. We're just gonna go make sure everybody's back. Nobody's stuck in the bathroom. Arturo just being Arturo. Comical man. All right, so I think we're just waiting on a few other people. Gomez over here saying he's a beginner, like he's not third place in the Drivers' Championship right now, and single-handedly putting his team in third place on the the Teams Championship as well. This guy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to head to Austria. 32 laps around this track, and it's gonna be a spicy one. Good luck, have fun, drivers, and it's go time. The finale begins here. I say the finale like it's the end of the season, but we're only halfway through the season. We still got another 5 races to go after this. And you don't want to miss any of those 5 races. Alright, it is now time. We're going to wait for those 5 red lights to go out. If you jump the start, then that's a nice penalty that you do not want to have, especially on lap 1. Alright, we got those 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go! An amazing start there from Viper and Whiteout. Whiteout's gonna go and jump in position, going into turn 1. He might try to go for 2 there. And he's gonna go ahead and make the turn. Viper keeps up in the turn lead. Gomez is in P2. And actually, Flying Aces lost 2 positions there, going from 3rd to 5th in the opening stages. Whiteout's gonna go and try to make a move onto Gomez. Gomez does have the inside line though, but so he's gonna keep it for now. But Whiteout was going to be on the attack there. And still is the 2 high caliber cars are going to probably work together to try to make the pass happen. They're only 4 points behind in the Teams Championship right now, so this could very well be in favor of the high caliber squad. Whiteout's up in the 2nd place. Gomez is defending for his life against B23 there, going into that corner. We'll see if B23 can make that pass. But Gomez has some very strong defense over the last few races. So it'll be very tricky to make an overtake on Gomez. Gomez's defense is strong, but he's going to go a little bit wide, I think. He's way off on the rumble strips. B23 makes the pass. Gomez is down to the P4. I think CGM was also looking to make the pass, but he's got a half-second penalty. Very chaotic lap 1 here. A lot of drivers are going wide here in these corners. If you carry too much momentum going into these corners, then it's really going to bite you, because you'll get those penalties like I'm seeing a few drivers with. Or it might actually just be 1. Viper is currently in the race lead, but Whiteout is closing the gap. These cars do have an overtake meter, which gives the car a little extra horsepower for a limited time. You have only a certain amount of it allotted to you in a race, so you want to use it strategically. You don't want to burn it out all at once, or else you can kind of just be stuck dead in the water. The 2 championship rivals right now, 11, or I think slightly more than 11 points separates them both, but this is another battle for the Teams Championship as well. Whiteout, for the races he's raced in, has not lost a single race yet. He has won 2 out of our 3 races of this current season, with Viper being the only other race winner. So definitely going to keep an eye on these drivers and seeing which one can take the win here today. Another battle going on here between there's like 4 cars lined up there. CJ, Aces, Crunders, and B23 are all queued up behind Gomez, looking to take that final podium spot, but Gomez is just going to keep it. But we're going to see a pass here. Crunders is going to try to make the overtake onto Aces here. We're going to see if he gets it. No, I think there's a very slight bit of contact. Oh, there's definitely contact behind him. I think B23 ran into but Flaring Aces got turned around a bit. Oh no, Flaring Aces. His race has gone from bad to worse right now. He started off in 3rd place, but now he's about to go into, he's in 9th right now. If Killswitch can make this pass stick, and he doesn't, but he's still down to 8th. Going 3rd to 8th is not good for anybody. You never want to see that. Very unfortunate. Now, slipstream isn't on its maximum capacity. We keep it at a weak setting, like it was mentioned in chat. So dirty air is not going to be as big of an effect on these cars. These cars are very sensitive to wind. There's also a massive gust of wind going down to where turn 1 is, so 7.5 feet per second, so that might catch some of these cars off guard. These cars are very light, so very susceptible to wind, just like poor Ricky is susceptible to a half-second penalty. Pretty good start. He started off in 10 or 11, then moved his way up to 7th currently. Good stuff there, but Flaring Haze is just going to move on by. The British driver moving back up a position. It's a three-way battle here for 4th right now. With C-Chan, B23, and Krunders all getting involved in the mix. C-Chan, the closest one to go and take a position. He's got the inside line. He might go ahead and make this pass. Not quite. Krunders just has a little bit extra pace and a better exit going out of that corner. But I can definitely see a pass coming in the near future. Oh, Krunders goes wide and slides a bit. A little bit of that connectivity. It might be preventing C-Chan from going into corners and getting that inside shot. He might get it though soon. We're going to go ahead and spectate. Oh, he's going to try a pass on the outside. Krunders blocks him, and I think B23 ran into the back of C-Chan. A bit more contact there between B23 and C-Chan. There's a half-second penalty for two of them. Krunders and B23 have been hit with a half-second penalty. So this is going to look really good for C-Chan to go ahead and make up some positions here. He's going to look like he's going to try to make a pass going up here into turn 1 or turn 3, I mean. Oh, we have a spin for somebody. Oh, that's Artura. Artura way off into the gravel, unfortunately. And as Whiteout and Viper are battling for the lead, Whiteout's in the lead currently, but Viper does have an inside line. Viper's going to go in to retake the lead. And this battle is going to be the one to watch for this Grand Prix. It's only lap 5, and they're already almost 7 seconds ahead of Gomez. Viper and Whiteout are two of the quickest drivers we have here in Formula GT. These drivers are strong. There is a very good reason why they're always at the top of the timing table, and always with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. That's why these two are arguably the best drivers we have in Formula GT. The two sole race winners in this current season are duking it out right now for the lead here. I mean, this is also a very good track to try to overtake on. There's harder tracks to overtake on. This is certainly not a hard track to overtake on. Whiteout gonna go ahead and try to make a move on the Viper. Not quite, but they're so close to each other. Definitely not social distancing in the slightest. Viper will want to social distance and get himself out into the lead. And Whiteout is going to want to do the same after he passes Viper. So this is definitely going to be one of... I mean, this is going to be a battle that's going to go on throughout this entire race. Now, probably one of the key things here to note is the overtake meter, which we'll go over and pull up the race data real quick just to show that for a second. Looking at this here, that meter on the bottom right of your screen next to the course map, that is the overtake meter. These drivers have used a similar amount of overtake, but Viper having used a bit more of the overtake. But once that overtake meter is done, it's done. Like, you have no more overtake. So drivers will have to switch tires on this track. It's interesting to see that these two drivers are running on the soft tire compound, as shown by the RS on the bottom left side of your screen with the tires. Now the red bits is the tire wear. So right now it appears that there's very similar tire wear, but Viper just has a bit more on that front left. So the teams will have to change tires inevitably during this race, because you get, I think it's like a 1 minute penalty if you don't run both tire compounds in this race. So yeah, you definitely want to avoid that. I think ideally you're going to want to go for a 1 stop, but I think a 2 stop might be the case in this track. Although, I don't know. Right now, Viper and White have been very good on their tires for this race so far. So this very well could be a one-stop. These soft tires are grippier and they are the faster tire. But the medium has better tire life. So it's going to be able to keep that grip for a longer time. Whiteout's going to go up on the inside. He's got the inside. You want that inside, but there's traffic up ahead. Definitely going to have to see how traffic plays a factor, but it's not going to prevent Whiteout from taking the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix here in Formula GT. They're coming up onto, I believe that is Artura, currently in the back of the pack at this current moment. And he's got a penalty too, so traffic is definitely going to play a factor. But now when there's lots of traffic, there is a blue flag that appears that says, hey, the faster cars have to pass you, so you don't hold up the lead drivers of the race. So Whiteout and Viper are definitely going to be experiencing that here pretty soon. Yep, Arturo's just going to move to the far inside of that corner just to get out of the way of the two front runners. And see, no issues. I have seen it where traffic has caused collisions. Can't think of any specific instance in this series, but it has happened in racing events I have watched. So we're going to go and check on this three-way battle again. Aces, Krunder, and C-Chan all going for it. The battle between the Brits and the Canadian. One Canadian comes up, or one Brit comes off the other, trying to get a jump on the Canadian. Krunder moves up into 4th place, and he's got the inside line, but Aces is going to definitely try to make a move coming up here. It is almost 3 wide going into turn 3. A slight bit of contact between Krunders. C-Chan loses 2 places to both Flaring Aces and Krunders. But Flaring Aces is going to make it up another position, and he's going to be back up into 4th place. He's got to defend, but Krunders goes onto the grass a bit. The battle of Honda v Toyota v Mercedes. Oh, these cars are so close to each other. C-Chan going to try to make a move up the inside, but a little bit of that connectivity is not going to help C-Chan at all. But Krunder's going a bit wide is going to help C-Chan, and he's back up in the 5th place. Aces is up into 4th position there, but he's still got about 9 seconds to Gomez. But I think he'll be very keen on keeping these cars behind him. Whiteout, very solid driver there. And this battle is just going to keep going on for a while too, between Whiteout and Viper. But there's no points for the most amount of laps led. The only points awarded here are for your finishing position and fastest lap, which right now Whiteout has both. So he could potentially jump Gomez in the driver's standings and get closer to Viper. And I think this would actually put High Caliber Racing on top of the team standings. But then again, V23 is pretty far down there, so he's a pretty good ways away from Aces, which Aces, being the other driver of the Deadeye Racing team, is currently in 4th. So 2nd and 4th will yield more points than 1st and 9th now. Ricky is actually having a very solid drive here. He started off in 11th and now he's up into 8th. The IHR reserve drivers usually are very, very strong. J-Mac is a very good example of that. J-Mac had a very solid drive during preseason and even in the regular season too. So Ricky is going to go ahead and move up into 8th. He's actually got a pretty solid defense against B23 right now, building up a pretty considerable gap, but I wonder if Ricky's going to be making that rookie mistake of using too much overtake in this race. Because unlike DRS and Formula 1, you can't regenerate overtake in any way at all. Ricky now has a 1 second gap to B23, but he's also catching up to Kill Switch a bit. So Ricky's just moving up through this pack, which is very good for a rookie. in the GT 500 category for Grand Prestige League, there was a rookie driver for the season opener that got a podium and had out there a very solid drive. And right now, Ricky is on his own very solid drive right now. He's up in 8th place. Good stuff there from the American rookie. And so this triple threat battle going on here between Aces, C-Chan, and Crunders has slowed down a bit. Crunders is still chasing 5th place, but a half-second penalty is going to make that nigh impossible. But Crunders is actually on track of setting the fastest lap of the race so far. He's going to try to get a pass on the C-Chan. The two are very close to each other, touching tires a bit there. And I think Crunders is going to move up into 5th place, but he's going to have a half-second penalty to contend with. So he is pushing C-Chan very wide there. But very strong defense there. Very aggressive defense there from Crunders. But I don't think he's created enough of a gap to warrant, or for him to keep that position when he has to slow down. He will be ghosted too, so there's no contact between the cars. And sure enough, that ghosting just saved C-Chan from a collision, and both of these drivers going way off into the gravel. Very good racing there for these drivers. I mean, Crunders did not get that position, but he's close to C-Chan as well. And he's going to just very late on the brakes. There's contact between the two. And more contact between those two. These two are out here playing bumper cars right now. On lap 13, Crunders is going to retake the position. But I wonder if that's going to be an inquiry for the stewards. I wonder if that's too defensive. Right now, there must have been a very massive mistake for Whiteout at some point during the race, because now he is 8 seconds off of Viper. Very unfortunate stuff. He's closer to Gomez now. Gomez is closing up in the 2nd place. In chat, Arturo said that Crunders was going for a gap that didn't exist. Which is, I mean, he is being very aggressive, I'll say that. He is definitely taking the Ayrton Senna quote of, if you don't go for a gap that exists, then you're no longer a racing driver, to a very literal sense. But as a driver, you got to gauge where that gap actually is. C-Chan's actually going to be the first driver to come off into the pit lane. He's going to try to go for a very long stint on the medium tire. He's going to peel off into the pits. They're going to change the tires off, get rid of the softs, put on the mediums. Unless, yep, nope, never mind. He went to the soft, or the mediums. I was thinking he could possibly go for the soft medium, but I think just the soft to medium would be a better strat. Godboy also goes off to the pits. Another soft runner switching to the medium tires, more than likely. The Sohei Racing Saab going back out on track. So I believe those C-Chan and Gothboy are the only ones who have pitted so far. Viper's going to add to that list of drivers pitting in. This is what they practiced for. This is a very... these drivers have practiced this, so they probably have their pit strategies down to a T, so you can expect the pit stops to come in very quickly. So all the drivers that didn't pit in this lap are likely going to pit in during lap 16. Aces does have a penalty for a half second. Definitely due to track limits. We knew we were going to see a good amount of track limit penalties going into this one. This track is notorious for it, in-game and in the real world. So seeing a track limit penalty is not very surprising. I mean, it's a very high-speed track. Yeah, we have two drivers currently with track limit penalty. Schulte is going to fire off into the pit lane. So Whiteout reclaims the lead of this race, but he still has to pit. And when he pits, he's probably going to end up behind Viper, and he'll probably end up in 4th place, maybe even 5th behind Crunders. But Whiteout's a very rapid driver, so I think he can make up some of those positions, especially on a fresh set of tires. Speaking of whiteout, he's going to go right to the pit lane. This needs to be a good stop for the number 26 car, which it should be. Should be. Gomez actually takes the lead of this race now. And Flaring Ace is going to get past. Viper's going to go ahead and get past. Oh, whiteout's not even into the pits yet. Now the high caliber racing car is going to fire off into the pits. Tires are going to get changed. Let's see if he comes out. Oh, wow. He's actually... He might even get passed by Killswitch. Killswitch does have a bit of a moment there. Yep, I think Killswitch is just going to barely get past Whiteout. Oh, no, Whiteout's actually... Whiteout got it. So Whiteout filed in right behind Crunders, which is what I assume might happen. Whiteout now in the 5th place, but three of the cars in front of him still have to pit in, being Gomez, Aces, and Crunders. But here's the thing about Gomez, too. Gomez is known for making tires last way longer than they should. Speedy Gomez is probably one of the best tire whisperers in the entirety of Formula GT. It is impressive how much he can nurse tires. Very impressive how much he can nurse tires. But Viper and Aces, the two teammates, are going to be close to each other, but I think Aces is just going to let his teammate through, the current championship leader. I mean, I severely doubt there's going to be team orders in play here, but Viper is on the fresher set of tires. So, to not hold up your teammate in a potential chance of a win, you do want to kind of move out of the way to get the best shot possible for a win here. I mean, maybe even a double podium, possibly. I mean, although Whiteout is kind of closing that gap, so I think this would be the chance for Aces to burn a good amount of that overtake, just to try to increase that gap to Whiteout to kind of protect his position. Although, granted, pit stops in Gran Turismo take quite a while, so I don't think he'll be able to keep that position, unfortunately. So the best thing is just to kind of play damage limitation when it comes to how many places you're going to lose. But Crunders is going to be behind him. The IHR driver is trying to keep up with Whiteout, but I think Whiteout's just on that fresh set of tires. And I mean, Whiteout's just a rapid driver in general, so it's going to be very tricky to keep up with a high caliber racing machine that's on fresh slicks and also with a very rapid driver behind it. Ace is going to peel off into the pits. Oh, he was a driver on a medium. Gonna try a long stint on the soft tires. It's not uncommon to see teams kind of like alternate strategies between cars. You'll see maybe one driver do a soft to medium, and then the other driver do a medium to soft. So, very interesting to see how this strategy will play out. We'll put on some of the data here to see who hasn't pitted yet. So, Killswitch, Crunders, Gomez, and it's just those three. So, Killswitch, Crunders, and Gomez are the only drivers who have yet to pit. Let's see. These are all definitely medium tire runners, about half distance. So, I think Gomez is just going to try to take those tires as far as he can and then make up a lot of positions with the soft tire. We've seen Gomez do it in the past. Gomez is the 3rd fastest driver in this league and the 3rd in the championship standings. Or no, he's 2nd in championship standings. Single-handedly putting his team in 3rd in the team standings. So, it's definitely going to be... Excuse me. It's definitely going to be a strategy battle for this race. I don't think Whiteout is making enough of a, or he's not closing the gap enough to Viper here. I think that gap is still pretty sizable. So as long as Viper keeps things consistent, Viper can win this race. Gomez still has the pit. He's losing a lot of time to Viper in the back. Let's see, it's just gonna compare lap times. Oof. Viper was almost 2 seconds a lap faster than Gomez on lap 18. Gomez is going to try again. I think there's a really thin line of crossover there between pitting too soon and pitting too late. There's like such a thin line of optimal pit window. But these drivers they know how their driving style is. They practice this. They practice their tire strategies. So they know what they're doing. It's not like they're just imagining a tire strategy on the fly. I mean, I'm sure maybe one driver is, but for the most part, they practice on this track in between race weekends. So it is very possible that this could just come down to pit strategy, which a lot of races in the real world do. They just go down to pit strategies. Arturo said that he's just winging a pit strategy, and you know what? Sometimes that mentality of screw it, we ball actually pays off. In some of the manufactured cup races I did, actually all of them, I had that mentality. I just said, you know what, screw it, we're gonna ball. Led to a few podiums and a race win at the Nordschleife, which that was a very tense race. Although these cars would probably hate that track because the Nordschleife in Germany is so bumpy. And these cars are very twitchy. I mean, they're light. You can see how skinny they are. Just pure carbon fiber chassis with a titanium halo, which is the little bit that's in front of the driver's face. Meant to protect cars. I think it was made mandatory for most open wheel racing series after 2017. I think. It's got enough strength to protect a driver's face from getting dented by a flying tire. Oh, Krunders is actually getting fuel? Oh, I wonder if that's a mistake. Because normally, the way that these races are set up is that the drivers will never have to refuel. So I wonder if just Krunders was just using too much fuel. Oh, he's swerving a bit trying to get those tires warmed up. But if you're not careful, that's going to put you right to the gravel or a wall, which will give you some damage that you have to deal with for about a minute, which can lose you so much track time. So that's a very risky maneuver. It's better just to warm them up just by pushing to the maximum level when you're actually driving. Gomez has not pitted in yet, but he's on track to set the fastest lap of the race. Yeah, no, Gomez has not pitted. He's on track to set the fastest lap of this race with 22 lap old medium tires. That is, oh, I actually backed out of that. Whoops. Okay, I think PlayStation had a weird spasm. But we are back. We are back. I don't know what PlayStation did there. I apologize for that. Hit a button and it all went very wonky. Yeah, Whiteout's just not having a great race by his standards. So, it's unusual to see him this far back or this far away from Viper. I mean, Gomez is finally going to peel off into the pits. Viper retakes the lead. He might actually be safe to Whiteout. We'll keep an eye on this. Gomez is going to switch to soft tires, but then Gomez is going to be rapid. Let's see how much overtake he has left. Oh, we're not going to see it in the pit stop. Whiteout just gets past, I think. Oh, they're going to be close. Yep, Whiteout's just past Gomez there. Gomez exits the pit lane, and he's off. But he's only a second behind Whiteout, and he's on fresh softs. So Gomez is going to be in maximum attack mode now. There's a flaring ace behind him, but Gomez is on brand new soft tires. So this man is going to fly after Whiteout. We'll go ahead and check the overtake meter now. He's used very little of his overtake, so he's going to be on maximum attack. Whiteout has used all of his overtake, and so is Viper. Ooh. I mean, Viper's got such a big gap anyway. But, I mean, one slip up might just be enough to just give Gomez the rest of this, to put this race on a silver platter for him, because he's got like 3/4 of an overtake. So it is very possible. We're actually gonna do something a little different. We don't normally do this here with Formula GT, but we're gonna keep the extra information on so we can keep an eye on this overtake, because this overtake is gonna be very interesting, and Gomez is gonna use it to great effect and make the path going into turn, or exiting turn 3 on the whiteout. He's got him locked in. Gomez is just gonna fire on all cylinders, and that extra little bit of horsepower on that overtake. Very solid stuff there from Gomez, and he's gonna move up into second place. Whiteout has, or Viper, sorry, but Whiteout too, but neither one of them have overtake remaining. I wonder, oh, Flaring Ace still has some overtake available, so I wonder if he's gonna attempt to make a lunge for third place. I wonder, this is something to really keep an eye on, so we're gonna definitely keep an eye on the overtake meter for the rest of this race. Oh, there's traffic there, I think. Yeah, I think one of the IHR cars might have been getting overlapped. I don't know, I thought I saw traffic there, but maybe I was just seeing things. But regardless. But here's something interesting. A battle for second place is possible now. Whiteout is about a second away from Gomez, but also about 7/10 away from, or in front of Flaring Aces. So we'll see. I mean, I think actually strategy might work, because Flaring Aces has used, or sorry, Gomez has used so much overtake since his pit stop. He wants to chase for that race win, but Viper is just so consistent. Look at that consistency. I mean, that consistency is very important. Losing hardly any time at all on those mediums. Flaring Aces is gonna go to the inside, going into turn 1. Oh, he pushes, went out a bit wide. Oh, Flaring, this would have been the best chance to use that overtake to keep that position for third place. He's gonna try it again though, going into turn 3. And he's gonna get the overtake, and it's gonna stick. Flaring Aces has gotta watch his back, because there's Whiteout right in front of him. Or right behind him, sorry. Oh, Gomez is peeled off though, so this is definitely gonna be just now a battle for that final podium spot. But Whiteout is not going to give up that podium spot without a fight. He qualified 4th, but he may end up sticking in 4th, which would be not great for high caliber racing, because I think B23 is down below 8th place. So he's just going to lose a lot. They're just going to lose a lot of points to Deadeye Racing, which has right now a double podium on the cards here. So Whiteout is going to be more so in the mode of damage limitation, and he's going to try to push and get Flaring Aces back into 4th. Flaring Aces does have some very strong defense there. Oh, and then 2 drivers are... Oh, Viper's got to get past B23 and Ricky there. He gets past one. He's got to get past the other high caliber racing car now to go ahead and maintain his lead, or to kind of just get past the traffic. Although granted, there after this corner, after turn 10, it's going to be a significantly better area to pass on. but B23 better than, I mean, because Ricky could use that slipstream, a little bit of the slipstream from Viper there going into turn 1 to actually go ahead and give himself a little bit of a slipstream to work with going against B23 here. B23 does not have a lot of overtake left, but Ricky does. Oh, I thought that was actually about to be a spin there from Ricky, the American driver. The new driver coming into 9th place. I think overtake is no longer going to be part of this battle, so we will be turning off. Oh, I did it again. I did it again. Whoops. We're going to just turn back on where it's just showing the race information. So overtake definitely is playing a factor. Whiteout's actually back from overtaking Aces. But Flaring Aces does have overtake and Whiteout does not. So, I mean, right now Whiteout, his main focus has got to be just damage limitation, trying to keep the team in the point standings and not to get overtaken by Scuderia Racing Force, which is currently a one-man army with Fernando Gomez. Sorry, I was taking a drink. So, I mean, Whiteout's got a bit of a gap now to Aces. I mean, Aces will want that position back, but we'll actually turn on the all the information on again. He's still got a good amount of overtake, but I think it's just saving it for the last four laps of this race. Viper's just been cooking, but Gomez he's closing that gap, but I just don't think it's going to be quick enough. We're going to see. I am surprised that Aces has not been using his overtake as much. He's probably trying to keep it all for a last lap push against Whiteout. I mean, that seems like the smart thing to do. Whiteout he's on fresher mediums than Aces softs, but the overtake. I forget how much horsepower overtake adds in general, but it's a substantial amount to make a pretty noticeable boost. We'll see if he uses it a bit here. The black and red Deadeye Racing machine. He's got a good slipstream. He's not using overtake, but he's using just purely the slipstream. It's purely using slipstream. Oh, now he's going to fire off just a touch of overtake. Just a little sprinkle overtake, but he's going to go for the outside. And I mean, but if you have the inside of that corner, you're almost always going to win that battle. So that's the thing about that corner right there is you pretty much have to have that inside line going into turn 3 or else you're just going to lose it. Speaking of losing it, Viper's definitely not losing enough time to Gomez for it to really make a difference. All Viper has to do, he's got 2 laps, he just needs to bring it home. Viper's about to take race win number 2 of the season. We've had 4 races and 2 winners between them. Unless he makes an absolutely cataclysmic error here, Viper's got this race win in the bag. Now Gomez has got a pretty solid second place. This will be his best result of the season. And for Whiteout, this will be the first race he has not won that he's been a part of. Every race he started this season, which is Belgium and Brands Hatch, he's won. He wasn't around for Spain, but he was around for the rounds 1 and 3, and he won both of those. But Flaring Aces has got the inside there, but I guess Whiteout just had just a bit more momentum. One of those cases of where having the inside line just didn't give him the win. But Aces is going to go for it. He's got the inside, but not by enough. You can have the inside line, but he just couldn't slot the car in inside. Like trying to get parking at a Publix during a Florida hurricane. Just not enough spots. Not enough of a gap to slot your car in. This is definitely just going to be the primo battle for the rest of the race to watch here. But one driver that didn't really have much trouble keeping this race win and lead is Viper. Ever since the mysterious mistake that took Whiteout out of that race contention has put Viper in a really good spot now. Oh, Flaring Aces, I think, had a bit of an issue. I think he had a little bit of contact with maybe a traffic car? I'm not sure. He dropped a lot of time really quickly now. So we're just going to go back to Viper right now, who's on the final lap of this race. Actually, everybody's officially on the final lap. B23 has a blue flag and a half-second penalty. But, I mean, all Viper has to do is just bring it home now. He's got a 12-second gap to Gomez. He's coming around the last few corners. He's got 2 more corners to go. Coming back to the top step of the podium for the first time since Spain. He's got one last corner. It's a straightaway now. Viper wins here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Round 4 goes to the British man. For Deadeye Racing, Gomez gonna round out the podium in 2nd place. His best result of the season. Ricky actually getting P9, which is a pretty solid upgrade from P11. Good result there from the rookie. And that rounds out the podium. Flaring Aces is gonna round the corner to round out 4th place. And on top 8 are Sandstone. C-Chain making the last few corners himself. He's gonna go ahead and assault himself in the 5th. A good return to form for C-Chain there and FR Racing. Crunters and Killswitch are going to battle for the last few positions here. The last positions on the board. It's going to be between Crunters and there's a spin! Killswitch and Crunters get into it. There's a spin there. That's going to have to be looked at by the stewards for certain. Oh! Killswitch goes for a spin himself! Oh, that's unfortunate. For both drivers, I mean, a half-second penalty, but I think that's going to lock in Killswitch for a P6 and P7 finish, and that's the end of this race. This race is done. Wow, what a hectic end to that race for the midfield. But without any further ado, your race winner, Viper, is your race winner. Pole position and a clean race. This one is done. Alright, just taking a look there at your standings here. So we have Viper Gomez, who actually breaks Viper's streak, upsetting the fastest lap for every single race. And then we have it followed by Whiteout, Aces, C-Chan, Crunders, Killswitch, B23. Oh, and I backed out of it again. And then Ricky, Schulte, Gothboy, and Arturo round out the rest of the grid. What an incredible race we've had here today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and you'll definitely want to be around next time. 2 weeks from now, we begin round 5, the official halfway point of the season, and we're going to a very beautiful and very fun track to race on. Next up is Monza, the Temple of Speed in Italy. Oh, I can't wait to see you guys. Actually, correction, I read the wrong thing. We're going to the Nürburgring in Germany, a very iconic track, not the 16-mile variant, probably thankfully for these drivers. We are going to the GP layout that has been used in Formula 1 for a long while, needs to come back. But yeah, we're going to Germany next time around, so thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure you follow and subscribe, and follow us on Twitch and Instagram, and subscribe to the YouTube channel where this full race VOD is going to be. And yeah, until next time, see you guys later.